Hello everybody, this is Llodg, and before I get into the video, I want to say that I received a code from Square Enix for FANTASIAN Neo Dimension for the PlayStation 5. However, all my thoughts in this video are completely my own. If you want to get the game for yourself, it is available on PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam. If you don't know, FANTASIAN was originally released on the Apple Arcade, and you could only play it on Apple devices, so I am really glad that this game can be played on an actual console, and you don't need a subscription service. It was also developed by Mistwalker, which was a studio founded by the creator of Final Fantasy, Sakaguchi. And I have to say, this game feels a lot like those original Final Fantasy games, specifically the 3 PS1 games. I mean, there's even a Cid and totally not Phoenix Downs in the game. The gameplay is your traditional turn-based battles, and the way battles are handled is a lot like Final Fantasy X, where you can see who's next in the turn lineup, so you can use this to plan out if you should take another hit at the boss or heal up before the boss can attack you. The battle system is also really interesting, as the positions of the enemies really matter, so you can line up your attacks to hit multiple enemies at once, similar to the Trail series. Different attacks will also have their own way of lining up. I really love how magic is done this way, like there are some spells that have a curve to hit enemies instead of just going in a straight line. Different spells will also have their own paths. It just adds another layer of complexity to battles that is greatly appreciated. But maybe I just like magic systems being different like this. I will say that sometimes in boss battles particularly, the position of the camera can affect how you see the enemies, so sometimes it's kind of hard to line up based on the camera view, and I wish you could change the camera view. The story's premise is pretty interesting, as you play as Leo, who looks like he'd fit right in a Nier game, and Leo has lost his memory. So throughout the game you get to learn more about the world and Leo. The world is being affected by bacteria, and it's kind of ruining a lot of people's lives. I mean, they can't even live on the east side of Totally Not Venice anymore. But as Leo tries to figure out about his past, he meets Kina, and after discovering that Kina holds some sort of special power within her, and meeting the malevolent god Vam, who looks a lot like Sephiroth and even sounds like him.
Oh, Marauder of the Divine Artifacts. A strange power indeed. I shall remember you all, and bring annihilation upon you.
They decide to go on an adventure to figure out everything that's going on with these weird markings on different objects and places. The premise is kind of what you'd expect from a JRPG, but I like how it wasn't super straightforward and felt a little different from other JRPGs. The standard party size is 3 characters, just like the PS1 Final Fantasies, but you also get a pretty good amount of party characters so you can decide who you want in your party for battles. I also really loved many of the party characters, especially Kina and Cheryl. They had a great dynamic, especially with Leo. The original release of FANTASIAN didn't have any voice acting, but I honestly can't see how this game didn't have it. The voice acting really ups the story for me. As so many characters are voice acted, even side quests have voice acting, it makes the story feel so much more immersive with it, and I'm really thankful it's here. The party characters in particular have amazing voice actors. There were a lot of funny moments throughout the story, but there were some weird jokes that I felt like it would have fit more in line with an anime that came out in the 90s, and I feel like those jokes didn't get too far to be weird, but I found some of them really pressing that edge. But most of the time it felt like the humor from earlier Final Fantasy games. There are a few really cute moments that I'm always happy to see in these kinds of RPGs. The art style is amazing. I feel like this was one of the original selling points when the game was initially released, because it's so similar to how the PS1 Final Fantasy games used pre-rendered backgrounds and had the characters walk on it, but in this game they made actual dioramas. I don't know about you, but I love how the dioramas look, and in this game they look incredible. It makes the game look so pretty and real without needing to spend a ton of development time making these same areas in a 3D model program, with the added addition of giving the game such a unique style. Also, the water looks really good, like I want to drink from this. However, when the camera really zooms in, the backgrounds can get pretty blurry, which is a little disappointing but not a huge deal. I will say when you move between different screens and the camera shifts, it can be a little disorienting. The biggest part was how the controls would be a little weird, where I take my thumb off the control stick and then have to put it back on to start to be able to move again. Though this is an issue with most games that have a static camera. You can also tell this game is from a mobile game because of the UI, and I don't hate the UI, but these definitely look like buttons you'd want to press with your finger. The pre-rendered cutscenes also looked really good and made me wish we got more of them throughout the game. Though there were still a lot of them, I guess I just wish they were the main way cutscenes were done. There are also these story-like cutscenes that almost feel like a visual novel. I think they were pretty interesting, especially since they were done like a storybook, but at a certain point it felt like there were too many and they went on for too long. The visuals were pretty cool though. I love the Dimension since it allows you to basically turn off random encounters if you've already fought the enemies before. However, it isn't as simple as turning off encounters, as it'll hold them until it either overfills or when you want to fight them. So it's really nice to be able to run around the map and still be able to fight those encounters for XP whenever you want to, instead of having to stop every few seconds. There's also a warp system, so you can easily go back to any of the warp points you want to either open chests you missed or even do side quests easier. I also like how it'll tell you have a side quest you haven't discovered in an area, so if you're a completionist, it's really easy to know what else you have to do. The music was incredible. Big shock, I know, since it was composed by Nobuo Uematsu, the same composer who has done many of the Final Fantasy OSTs. I really enjoyed listening to a lot of the tracks, and they add a lot of ambience to the game. I especially came to really enjoy the regular battle theme, though I guess I kind of enjoy all his regular battle themes. This is just another great OST to add to his list of great soundtracks.
You're wide open.
I will say I did encounter a couple of glitches while playing. The main one I think was when I'd leave like a house or something and go back into the main area, I'd open the map, but I would do it too quick and then my character would just be like stuck. I don't know why I'd get stuck, but then it would fix itself. And thankfully there's like auto-saving and a ton of save points around, but it was a little bit annoying and like, am I gonna have to reset the game? But no. There was one time I had to reset the game when the battle just would not load, and I was a little scared that it was just never gonna load. In there I had to reset it, and then it has not happened again, so maybe it was a one-time thing. If you're a fan of PS1 Final Fantasy games and fun traditional JRPGs, then I would 100% recommend this game. It has a fun battle system, an interesting story, great characters, and an amazing soundtrack. I'm so happy it's available on more platforms, because that just means so many more people will get to try out this game. This game is so good, it made me want those PS1 Final Fantasy games to be remade in this style. Thank you again to Square Enix for providing me with a code for FANTASIAN Neo Dimension, and I hope you enjoyed the video, have a good day, and goodbye!